We are taking Alpha.
Yo! Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Airport Duel. Today we've got Ronin Iceman, a very good player, playing 5th Panzer Division, and he's going up against Zsadok, playing 4th East German. We'll cover the deck reviews, then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game, and as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is Zsadok's deck for the game that we're watching today, and he's playing 4th East German, a division I really like. I like this div a lot. So we'll go through it tab by tab. First things first, 2 cards of supply. Yeah, fair enough if you're going to run 2 cards. I mean, basically this div doesn't get a huge amount of RT, and it doesn't have like loads of tanks that need repairing, so you can get away with 2 cards. I mean, I always end up needing 3. I guess it's because I'm always fighting stuff, so I'm always repairing my vehicles. I also tend to lose supply a lot. But anyway, if you're going to have 2, you don't really need 20 MTLB munitions floating around, so it's best to get one of them to be the big truck. The big truck has 2,000 supply, so you need fewer of them to get the same amount of supply, and yeah, it's faster. So sometimes you will need the big truck for your rear line RT and stuff like that, and then sometimes you'll need this because it's armoured, and if you lose it, it's not a big deal. In terms of CVs, so this is the wheeled CV, 3 availability for 95 points, and there's a wheeled CV here, which is 2 availability, but it's forward deployed and wheeled, so that's very important to have if you want to be ahead on points at the start, particularly on a map like Hesse Duel. That can be very useful. Being ahead on points at the start just means you can defend all game, which is kind of what 4th wants to do, so this is important. So in which case, you could swap this out for the tracked one. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? For 5 points more, you become slower and lose stealth. So yeah, let's not do that. And then for this, right, so this is 35 points for CV, but 2 availability. Whereas this is also tracked 70 points for 3 availability. Now, considering you've got 3, 4, 5, 7 CVs, you don't really need 8 CVs. So I think that this is actually a decent pick. Because most people don't really need 8 CVs. If you're playing a very, very aggressive game, I do know people who do that. I'm one of them. Then it can be worth having more CVs. But this is nice and cheap. You can literally buy 2 at the start on a map like Black Forest, and it'll barely hurt your deployment. Although, well, okay, you should be buying at least 1 forward deployed CV on Black Forest, I would think. What map are they playing on? Whatever. So the yeah, CVs, fair enough. And then in terms of the infantry, I think there's a bit too much FS Jaeger here. So if you're doing forward deployment in a 1v1 or just in general, you don't actually need that much, because once you're in there, you don't really need any more forward deployment. You just need regular units because they all spawn at the same place. So you don't want to overdo it on the forward deployment. And, so if you get to a town, okay, so there are 4 satchels here, which is alright. Yeah, I think, so 3 of the, so Conquer's anti-vehicle, right? Unspeakable 1, anti-vehicle. SPG-9, mainly anti-vehicle. So you definitely don't need 3 of these in a 1v1. This can be useful at the start because it goes at 100 kilometers an hour, whereas like the FS Jaeger go at 90, so it can be useful at the start. So I'd get rid of this one. And then you've still got the Conquers, you've got the SPG-9, and you've saved yourself a slot here, which you can spend on air spam, which is kind of the point of this division. So there you go, 2 seed. Now you can air spam a bit better. If you don't want to air spam, you can just get more infantry, right? Then 3 FS Jaeger is like, I think that's a bit much. So what you can do is downvet these. So now you've got 4 more availability. Get rid of that and get yourself another plane. Now, you get yourself 6 grenade launchers. This is actually very useful against infantry. It's really good. In tournament games, I bring 12. If I'm playing 4th in the town in a tournament game, I literally bring 2 cards of grenade launchers and I win. So it does work. So I think that's a good idea. Then, yeah, Motschutsen, this is the core of the strategy. You get it in this because it's very, very cost effective. Nice, it's got a long range ATGM. I mean, it doesn't do much pen, but it's got long range suppression, right? Smoke, Resolute, 30 points, the Grom, the PKT, the 3 armor. Very, very, very cost efficient unit. So you want as many of those as possible. And sadly, you only get 2 cards right. Then Motschutsen SVD, very effective anti-infantry squad because the DMR's like 2 machine guns. So that's 4 machine guns, which is like 8 rifles. 8 plus 5 is 13. Quick maths. So they fight with the strength of 13 men. So very, very useful unit. And then honestly, I don't even bring regular FS Jaeger. I just bring the Metis guys. But they can be useful. Like they've got a nice RPG. They can be useful. So feel free to bring them. If you find that you lose in town fights, you could just swap them out for another set of Pioneers. Pioneer Flam can work. It's just I prefer satchels, but you know Pioneer Flam can work. So if you find that you need more infantry or whatever, right, you can either swap this one out for 6 smart shots and BTR, or you can you know 5 Pioneers or 4 Pioneers Flam, at which point it's not much point. But yeah, this can work. I mean, it's got a nice RPG, but so do these guys. So yeah, it can work. And then the Metis is a must bring because it's got the anti-vehicle capability, and these can now shoot inside forests. So yeah, and we already spoke about the forward deployed CV artillery. So howitzer, this is an Acacia for actually doming, you know, conkers and stuff like that. Then I actually spoke to Zsadok before the game about this. So I've been experimenting with bringing the Gvozdika, which is what this is. Sadly, they name them unpronounceable things because this game isn't a game, really. It's just sort of a tech demo. And basically, if you want to smoke stuff and not get killed by counter battery, Gvozdika at 1 vet is actually the way to go because you shoot the smoke. It gets there faster depending on the range because this thing, even though it says it, you know, it aims and reloads faster, aim 16 seconds, aim 18 seconds, but this shoots on a trajectory that goes like this, whereas the howitzer just goes bam. So it is better in terms of speed. You upvet it because otherwise it doesn't reload fast enough to keep the smoke there all the time. And you can shift queue up the move orders because it's self-propelled. Whereas with a towed one, you can't shift queue up the move and shoot orders. Whereas this, you can do shift, B, click, F, click, B, click, F, click, B, click, F, click, and it will shoot the smoke, move to the next position, shoot the smoke, move to the next position, and you don't have to worry about it. The problem is, it's twice as expensive, which does kill your momentum. If you're trying to do an attack, you can't just do like, oh, I'll just buy 1 mortar and just piss about with some smoke. You actually have to think about it, because it costs twice as much. More than twice as much, because this will be 65, and this is 150. So, just something to think about. It depends. If you're against a bad player, he won't counter battery your smoke mortars, in which case just bring it like this. But when you go into ranked, I mean, what... You can't be like, I hope my opponent is bad. I mean... but yeah, there's so many people. I even see top-level players. I was watching one today, actually. I won't say who it was. And the enemy set up right in front of him and just started shooting smoke at him. And he could see the mortar. And he just sat there and looked at it. And then the smoke's coming in. And he's like, oh, I hate this smoke. The CV, it comes in. And I don't know where it is. It's so annoying. He could see the smoke mortar. Then he bought the artillery piece. And he used it to try and hit the CV in the smoke, instead of just hitting the smoke mortar, which he could see. So, you know, I think the game needs to be out for another 2 years, and people might eventually start listening to me. SPW Conker's really useful piece of kit, so I bring it at no vet. You don't need the stress resistance. Good stealth, very fast, send it round the sides and annoy people. Send it round the sides and annoy people. And that's why you don't also need the unspeakable one, because you've got ATGM here. This is a pseudo anti-vehicle. I mean, it's more of an anti-infantry. I personally don't bring this, but it can work. And you've got ATGMs here, and you've got ATGMs here, and you've got ATGMs here. So honestly, this might be overkill. It just depends. So if you're, I mean, it can work. It's got very nice, stealth on the defense. Is amazing. Basically, the idea with fourth mod shots, and I probably should have led with this, is that you drink your delicious decaf coffee. You get your forward deployed stuff out, you do some cool early game stuff, and then you just defend. You defend for the rest of the game and air spam. Defend and air spam. Defend and air spam. It's very funny. So yeah. T55A is really good in the early game. I didn't used to bring them, but ever since the fire rate went up to 9, I mean, they were good before, now they're just absurd. Really, really effective unit. Very much needs to be like 10 points more expensive, basically. But anyway, so you want these at the start, and if, you can just have 4, or you can have 6. I mean, it's entirely up to you. And then, yeah, this can be good on the defense. If you find you need more tanks, just swap this one out for another one of these at 1 vet. This is a better version of the T55A, but it costs more, so it can survive. Both of them can survive a hit from a Hellfire missile, because that's how that works. Realism, by the way. But the T55AM2 can survive a TOW 2 hit, whereas the other one can't. And it's got more range. The pen and more accuracy. The pen is the same, because penetration on a kinetic projectile increases by +1 for every 175 meters closer you are to the enemy. Also, it's faster somehow. What can I say? So yeah, it's a good tank. It is a good tank. It's not great against other tanks, but it's good against everything else. And then this is your anti-tank tank. So it's still not got the pen, but it's got the Bastion ATGM on it. So if the enemy's got heavy tanks, you just outrange him with these, and then smoke and retreat and do it all over again, right? So yeah, this and this together can be seen, and this is a lot of defensive anti-tank stuff. Well, that's what this one, yeah, it doesn't really count, I suppose. So recon helo, very useful. Spot where things are going. Then Motorised Aufklärer in the Aufklärer BMP1. I don't know about this, to tell you the truth. I don't think this is very good. I mean, I've seen people use it. It's 45 points. It's not got sorry, there's a fly there. It's not got smoke. I didn't realize that, actually. It's not got smoke. Huh. Okay. That's weird. Because the Polish one's 40 and it's not got smoke. So it's 45 and it's not... Okay, whatever. Yeah, what can I say? Why am I bathed in dark? So let's solve that problem. Just looking at the preview there. Let there be light. No, I can't see my screen. Lovely. So, yeah. Do what you want, really. I don't like it. I think that I'd rather have 4 of these. And you can bring them if you want. I mean, I bring them on the ground, but you can bring them in helicopters. And then you've got helicopter deployed infantry if you really need to get somewhere fast and stuff like that. You can also, like, recon helo deployment at the start. You can get into places quite fast. I don't really recommend it because it's not airborne deployment. This isn't fast either. But yeah, I don't know about this. You can if you want, right? And then Aufklärer just for scouting, right? So no vet because you don't actually want them fighting. They've only got 4 strength. And this is also good at shooting people, so it's nice to have. This has exceptional optics, so you bring it with your tanks. You click it, Shift F, click your tank, follows the tank around, gives you tank exceptional optics. Spare set of smoke if you need it. Good. And then these guys, satchels for the town, right? So satchels and smokes. And yeah, they come in this. So yeah, I don't know about this one, right? You could get rid of this, and then, you'd have 2 AP for whatever. This can be useful at running around shooting people and being annoying, but you've already got this for that. And yeah, so like this is the one I bring, pretty sure. But yeah, you can do what you want. Maybe you want 6 more recon, you want 6 more rocket helos or something, I don't know. AA, so Cubs, obviously, Cubs for long-range air defense. It's just so effective. There used to be 3 per card, and they got put at 4 for like no good reason. Anyway, then the Strela 10M for anti-helo. So this has range that it can shoot at an Apache before the Apache shoots it, whereas this doesn't. I actually bring this one. And I put this one with one of these and one of these, and I send them all on the little route round the side of the map. And then I show up on a reinforcement road shooting conkers at people. Actually, I don't think I bring this one. It's a bit superfluous. Shooting conkers at people. They send the helicopter to go take me out, and then I shoot down the helicopter. But it's it's a bit unnecessary, really. This is just better at shooting down anti-air, and if you end up against an Apache, this isn't really going to help you so much. So, at the very least, though, it should be at 1 vet. You definitely don't need 7 of these, right? Then Strellas, so this has been upvetted, which is fair enough. So forward deployed AA to protect your forward deployment. I don't bring these, I just bring the Igler at 1 vet, because it is better. But it's not forward deployed, right? So, yeah, it's just, if you're going to try and defend your forward deployment with Strellas, usually, if the enemy's got a brain, he's just going to shoot your Strela with his helicopter, and you're going to die, because it's a Strela, so it's probably going to miss anyway. And then you've got Strelas for the rest of the game. So if I always open fighter on this div, now you know how to beat me. So that's just something to consider. And then helicopters, 2, 4, 5. Yes, it's very normal. I used to bring these. These just aren't that good anymore. Yeah, they're just not good. So basically, yeah, anti-person, right? This is the better one because the rockets are bigger, and it is literally just, what the heck? Whoops, I didn't do a good job of that, did I? Blimey. So yeah, you want to bring the one with the bigger rockets first, because it is literally just better and it costs the same, because that makes sense. But only this div gets it. And then you want to bring these, and obviously this has a Kokon, so this is good for enemy tanks, but you need to be careful with it because it might die. Air tab, so MiG-29, most cost-effective fighter in the game, outranges every NATO plane with this missile, also has a better short-range missile than any NATO plane. Costs 220 points for all that. Then you tend to need more fighters, so I bring these as well, 3 of these. Very nice on the defense, like, so you don't want to be dueling enemy planes with this, because your ECM's quite low and your accuracy isn't great. This is more of a revenge fighter. Once they've flown over your AA, you send this out and hurt them. Also for once you run out of these, right? But actually, no, I start the game with 2 of these, I think, from what I remember. It's been a while since I played 4th. Anyway, so this is a rocket plane, very useful because it's got 2 sets of rockets. Once these run out, you just evac it, right? Even if you only shoot 3 of these, just evac it. And so you can get this, but this will never fire this missile until it gets really close, and then it'll just die. So it's not that great. Then the HE bomber, this can actually kill tanks, which is pretty funny. And then I said you should bring a seed. You can if you want to, you don't have to, right? I bring these as well. I actually fill out my air tab. What do I sacrifice for that? I think I sacrificed this and this, something like that. And then, yeah, basically these fly higher than this one, even though it's the same missile. And this actually does launch at max range, and then you evac it. It's very difficult to micro, though, but the idea is if you always shoot from max range and you've always got like a seed with it, the enemy cubs and stuff will really struggle to shoot you. Like, this is 5,300, so technically it can, but usually it's like a kilometer away from what's on the front line. So if you play with these well, and it's very difficult to do, I always mess it up, you can evac it right before the missile shoots, and it will still shoot the missile while it's turning away, and it won't be hit by enemy AA. But then sometimes I've seen 2 cubs fire at max range and just kill them. So, swings and roundabouts, as they say. Switching to his opponent's deck, we've got Ronin, open brackets, Iceman, close brackets, and he's playing 5th Panzer. Not much to say here, really. I don't think this div is amazing. So we've got 2 CVs, 3, so 4 CVs is 4 CV cards is a bit excessive. So 2, 4, 6, 8 is like a lot. Can get away with just having 6. At which point you'd want to get rid of these because this is tracked and these are tracked. But what you actually want to get rid of is this one. Because what do you need a command Leopard 1A5 for? I just don't think it helps you at all. So then you can actually bring some more Leopard 2s because he's not got enough. Like, this is at no vet, which makes it useless. You never ever want to do that. So this needs upvetting, right? -1, -3, +2. So now you're on -1 tanks, and all your tanks are now useful. Incredible. I should charge for this service. And yeah, so this is, you put it with your arty because it's tracked and cheap and whatever. This is wheeled and it's got smoke. The other one for so you can get this one, which is only 4 HP, no smoke, whereas this is 8 HP, yes smoke. And the smoke really makes it. Also, it's super fast. Not as fast as this other one, right? So if you've got 3 CV cards, then yeah, bring, like, this can work. It's just personal preference, really. I think I bring this one. But yeah, if you've only got 2 CV cards, then you definitely need this one instead. Supply, so 2 cards of supply means that you're going to struggle, really. No smoke mortars. And, you know, we spoke about the tanks. So you're going to have lots of heavy tanks to repair. And you've not got any smoke mortars, which is a bit weird. So 2 cards of supply is a bit rough on a heavy tank late game division. You usually need 3. Infantry, so the March to War M113A1G is garbage, don't bring it. Bring the Fox Milan. So this actually has 5 Milan missiles and smoke for 35 points, which makes it way better than something like the Scott 2AM, which has like 2 Malyutkas and costs 5 points more than this and doesn't have smoke. So really good piece of kit. Never upvet your Milan to infantry guys. I mean, you don't need the suppression resistance, which is the main advantage. 5% accuracy is just not really worth it. And what that means is you can, you know, I mean, I suppose there's only 1 card of ATGMs here anyway. Then, yeah, I mean, you sort of built this a bit weird. Marder 1A2 Milan at 2 vet. No, bring it at 1 vet. And then Pioneer Carl Gustavs. These guys can work, actually. I do bring these. And then Pioneer, right, so Panzer Grenadier M113 in the March to what? Like, what? Why? If you want to fight people in towns, you've got these guys. And if you want Marders, you've got these guys. So this should be replaced with additional Marder 182 Milans, in my humble opinion. Then Pioneer Flam is literal garbage. The hand flam patron is very, very bad. It's not an RPO, it's not even a flash, it's a hand flam patron. It's the worst one. So just replace these guys with regular Pioneers. In the Fox is nice. The Fox Transport's nice because it's got smoke. Makes it very useful. And then Zickerungs are just like a meat unit. I don't know. You know, like a sponge unit. And also they've got good optics when they're stood still. So they are useful. Artillery. So like, we need some smoke mortars here, really. I don't understand how you can survive life without smoke mortars. And then tanks, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 heavy tanks, and then 5 mediums. So you could potentially just get rid of this, and then bring in the smoke mortars. But I don't know if that's really worth it. But yeah, look at the AA tower. Sorry, there's this fly buzzing around my room. I don't understand how they get in. Like, I maintain a fairly clean. Never mind. Yeah, I mean, this is where all the points went. So down vet this. And then, like, this is just a lot of AA, really. I don't really think you need the Roland 2s if you've got 4 Roland 3s and 6 Gepards and 6 Fliegerfaust. So there you go. Now you've got 3 AP. Isn't that incredible how much AP you now have, right? And you've got 4 fighters anyway, right? 4 Roland 3s. Just make sure they don't get seeded. That's all you have to do. And you've got the Gepards anyway, right? So with that, now you can get more tanks. You can get more arty. So mortar for smoke, right? And then you've got 2 AP. Can't quite afford that. Could get a tank. We'll keep it in our pocket for now. No looks. So Fernspeer are 100 kilometers an hour airborne deployed unit. It's very strong. So, yeah, you need those. And this isn't a Special Forces transport, so there's no point of betting these. Then Aufklärer for, like, looking at people. I mean, sure, but for 20 points more, you can get twice the manpower and the ability to actually win fights. So I bring these guys, and I'm pretty sure I bring them at 1 vet so that they can actually win the fights. I can't remember, maybe I don't. Then, so the racist, you put this is like the BRM-1K except 2 less availability. You put it with your tanks to give your tanks exceptional optics. I really like the looks, because you can use it in the opener, it remains relevant throughout the game, and you can still put it with your tanks and give your tanks very good optics, just not exceptional optics. So I prefer the looks. And then Recon Helo, 4 per card, yeah, why not? AA we spoke about. Helos, so yeah, basically hot 2s or hot 1s. I prefer the hot 2, it's better. You do get 2 less of them and it costs more, but I prefer the hot 2. And then air. So the Megawatt, right. Fighters. Fighters are cool, right? You need both of the fighters. Generally, this division does get air bullied a lot, so I can understand why he had the Rollins in as well, but look how much it cost him. Then, so yeah, you need the 4 fighters. Then AT plane can be useful, right? The HE1 is bad because it takes 6 minutes to reload, whereas this takes 90 seconds. So, right? Then this also takes 6 minutes to reload and is only an anti-infantry device, so just get rid of that. And then you put in the F4F rocket. So this reloads in 32 seconds and is anti-infantry and is 3 per card, and later on in the game you send it out ahead of your AT plane, so this soaks the hits. And reveals enemy AA, which you can then shoot with drop the Tornado H IDS on it or whatever. So we've still got our 2 AP left. Wow, incredible. And, you can spend it on whatever you want, right? So, an easy one. So you can get the Mars. Unironically, in a team game, the Mars is pretty good. Or you can, up-vet these and get, 2 up-vetted, right? Or you can, up-vet this and now you've got 2 up-vetted M109s, and you've still got 1 AP, which you could spend over here. And you can get, okay, hypothetically, there you go, you've got that CV now. Now, you can get rid of this CV, and now you can have 3 cards of supply. My god, I'm a genius. I shouldn't blaspheme. Do apologise. So, yeah, I think that's way better now. Let's go back to the game. As always, timestamps in the description, map, matchup, deployments, etc. Right, so with that out of the way, let's talk about the map. Airport, nice big open sight lines. 4th has some advantages on this map, that being the 2,800 meter range ATGM, which he's brought both cards of. And the Conkers, of course, also outrange the Milans. But generally, 5th Panzer does have the advantage on this map simply because it gets heavy tanks, and it's a nice big open map for your heavy tanks. It gets pretty good artillery as well with the German M109s, the best M109 in the game, because the longer barrel gives it extra range, which gives it a lower dispersion at the same range. And as long as the German player is paying attention and hits those ATGM positions every time they come up, those anti-tank guns pretty easy to knock out. Then I think he'll be all right. Sorry, they're both German players. The West German player. I'm sounding like one of these Reddit Germans who are just like, East Germans aren't real Germans. There's lots of bad blood in the East-West German community. Whatever. Anyway, so there's a good side, and blue is on the good side. It's the good side because Anna's a lot harder to attack than Paul, and Elena's a lot easier to defend than Fedor. But the red side does have an advantage, and the advantage is that they can forward deployed rush Elena at the start down this road, whereas blue's forward deployed rush to Fedor is harder to pull off, and it's over open ground, and the enemy, if he's paying attention, can intercept it more easily. But generally the blue side's considered stronger, but no, this is one of the more balanced maps in rotation, I'd say. So let's talk about the deployments. So we've got Ronin, Iceman, opening 3 Fernspeer. One of them is trying to rush down here, but you see these roads do make it kind of hard. You got to do a big wiggle. We'll see how that goes, actually. Yeah, he's probably going to make it, actually. And then 2 for mid. Fernspeer gets ground surveillance radar. Their main advantage is that they're 100 kilometers an hour vehicle and airborne forward deployment. 5th Panzer is honestly not a bad div. It's just overshadowed by the T-72 spam of other divisions. There are just better divisions, BMP-2 spam divisions, just better. But 5th Panzer is, I would honestly say that 5th is a well-balanced division. It's just that the ones that are above it, excuse me, all need nerfing. So yeah, Fernspur, and then a recon healer which hasn't been pathed, which is interesting. Then we've got Milans in these tracked one-armor vehicles. I really don't think that's a good idea. I think the Fox Milan is a much better idea for 35 points. So yeah, a bit of a shame to see that. So yeah, that's going to here. Typically, you'd want it there so it can shoot down here and gets basically airport controllers can see further than atheists. So this is how far an airport controller can see, and this is how far an atheist can see. It's pretty similar because of the sight lines around here, but yeah, you see the power of airport control. Then we've got Marder 1A2 Milan coming up to here. Leopard 1A5, a Roland 2, and a CV Leopard 1A5. Then on the right, we've got Panzer Grenadier M113. I mean, we spoke about this in the deck review as well. I just don't think it's a very good idea. And then another Milan 2, an attract vehicle. Typically, you want to put it here so you can shoot down here, but because it's an attract vehicle, it's going to take ages to get there. Fliegerfaust for the right side. I don't understand why he's coming in here. You could use this road and get in faster. Although he's not sending an airborne forward deployed unit here, which is risky. Pioneer Carl Gustav also taking the long way. Jaguar 2 taking the long way. So he's just expecting to give up the front of Emma at the start. Gepard to help out the Rolands, and the cheapo CV for Anna, and then presumably Emma. Switching to his opponent's deployment, we've got Zsadok playing 4th East Germans. Basically my favourite div in the game, except maybe Belgium. But of the original divs, I don't know, I like 2nd UK, so I like them all. I like them all. I like this game. A lot of people, they don't see it, they just see me complaining, which I do, but I complain so that it can get better. Also because I play the game so much. Whoopsie daisy. Anyway, Strela, forward deployed Strela. Quite a conservative position. Basically, you'd want to put this in the church, because religious people can see further than atheists. Not as far as communists, though, or airport control towers. But yeah, you'd want to put this in the church, so you can see further and get a better sight line to hit potential helicopters, because like here, you're not really going to see anything. SPG-9, forward deployed. Unspeakable 1, going for the commie block, so that you can shoot all over the place. FS Jaeger Metis, FS Jaeger Fuhrer. So, he's doing something which you don't often see, which is that he is actually rushing Emma at the start, which it is a good idea, especially given his opponent's deployment. But it is a good idea because this is an infantry division. The reason people don't do it more is because there's no road here, so all the units come up here. And so if Blue's paying attention, he gets a Milan up here and he just starts killing everything, gets a Fox down here and just starts killing all the transports. But he's deployed all wrong. He's not even brought the Lux. Sorry, I said Lux instead of Fox. So yeah, it looks like that's going to be punished by Zsadok here. Aufklärer to view things. Typically you'd want this in the commie block or in the church. But yeah, you don't want to put more than one guy in the commie block because he'll die. So yeah, having it here is alright as well, or you can like get up to here or something, whatever. In fact, no, don't do that, because if there was a Fernspur here, he would get here first. And then, right, so he's not actually attacking Elena, because he's going for Emma. And so we've got Strela, Unspeakable 1, and an FS Jaeger. Oh, no, okay, so we've got some more guys. Another Strela, another an SPG-9, and an FS Jaeger Metis. Typically, right, so this unspeakable one should be here. Because then he can shoot over here. And then you can always fall him back, right? On the right, we've got a Aufklärer BRM1, Aufklärer BMP1, and these don't have smoke for some reason. And which I learnt today during the deck review. And then an Unspeakable 1 and an FS Jaeger Metis. This spot is not good, right? This is the spot. This is also the spot, and this is the spot, but this is not the spot. But you can unload him here and then move him forwards a building. There's nothing wrong with that. And an FS Jaeger Metis. And a CV. The cheapo CV, spoke about this in the deck review, Boris Fedor. Okay, let's cast the game, and we shall do so from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to desperately shill. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos at a rate of 1 per week. Great way to support the channel, best way to support the channel. I'm unemployed. PhD is going, I don't know, a lot of people tell me I'm milking it. Trust me, I wish I wasn't doing it. By the time you're seeing this video, I will have just had a massive argument with my supervisors where basically I'm going to tell them I'm out of money and out of time, I need to submit the thesis, and then they're going to rip my head off. But by the time you're seeing this, that will have already happened. So yeah, I'm obviously very apprehensive about it, and I'm playing some Warno to take my mind off it. Watching some Warno. This is going to be a really interesting game, I think. So Ronin is actually like a top player. He used to play a lot of, I think it was Wargame Red Dragon, and he's got a lot of games, and he's pretty high ranked. But the way he builds his decks is really weird. I'm not a big fan of this at all. And the Panzer Grenadier M113, like he's already got Pioneer Carl Gustav, right? So you don't need this. What you need is another card Armada 182 Milan spam. IFV spam isn't such a big thing in Wargame Red Dragon. I mean, it does happen, but it's not like it is in Warno. Anyway, we've got the immediate M109 purchase, which I am kind of against, but he will need it soon, because 4th Mort has got in first, as you'd expect, and now he's just going to sit there. And this is the best way to clear him out. But he is lacking on the front line. Like, he needs like another couple of minutes Armada purchases, I think. Fernschwer did get in, but to what avail? And yeah, so from Zsadok's perspective, he assumes there's somebody here, but there isn't. And so the question is, how fast will he notice that? Because if he does, right, the unspeakable one needs to get up to here, and that is huge, because then this road can't be used anymore. And you also start threatening things over here. You can't quite shoot them with the 2-450 range. And then, yeah, get the Strelas up so Helos can't be used. SPG-9 needs to fall back here. It is at max vet, but yeah, the M109, I mean, that's unpredictable, really, right? So he probably thought he had a little bit more time than he did there. But yeah, that's the issue with the SPG-9 teams. Only having 2 HP makes them a lot worse than a grenade launcher team, in my opinion. And if you want to shoot people, then you've just got the Conquerors, right? We spoke about this in the deck review. So I've played BMP1 trying to take this guy out. FS Jaeger Metis needs to swap buildings. The thing is, right, between these two, the Fernschwer will win because it's got the DMR, which is like 2 machine guns. So it's like having 3 machine guns, whereas these guys have 1 machine gun, right? They've got more strength and they're same vet. So what he needs to do is get this one over here and help out with that, or, you know, like get it up to here or something. So Zsadok, in danger of losing Fedor. He is trying to get the SP in, W in, but the Milan 2 is going to be there. In mid, he's running FS Jaeger into Fernschwer. At close range, the MP5 will absolutely obliterate him, but at long range, the DMR will obliterate him, so he's got to do something. So yeah, running into him and forcing the enemy to fall back is probably the best way that could have gone, actually, because if he'd stayed there, well, I don't know. I mean, there's only 3 of them left. This should have gone behind there, but it did not. And now it is RIP. And the unspeakable one needs to move around. Good helo position. Allows him to shoot that guy. We'll see what happens with the Gepard. He does need to start... So what you do is you turn these off. You can hotkey this, so it's only on a single button. Nothing happening over there. And then you can put them behind the buildings. Or you can press this twice, right? And then put them behind the buildings and they won't automatically try and get back in. KPV slowly killing this, which is hilarious. I mean, I think it's realistic, right? I don't mind it. It's just... For 15 points, I think they should be 10 if they've got smoke and 5 if they don't, basically. For an MMG box, as they call it. The Russians call them boxes, and the rest of us call them shit boxes, so I'll meet you in the middle. Anyway, Motorised Outplayer need to pull back here. So good repositioning from Iceman. What Zsadok could do here is swing the helo around and then be here and shoot rockets at people. He's gone for the bomber. What? I mean, there's nobody there. I guess he couldn't see? I guess he couldn't see that. Yeah, I think he couldn't tell. He lost vision and he assumed that that's where the tank was. It does get out, but that was not a great purchase. That could have been 2 T-55 Bastions. And what you do is you put them here, and then this guy doesn't get in, because the Bastion starts shooting him, starts getting side shots, so he's got to turn to face you, and then that means he can't go over here. And yeah, the helo could have swung around, so Ronin stops the tick and will soon be on a +1. Zsadok, in the meantime, T-55A is really, really good at the start of the game. Just good in general, but at the start of the game they're very impressive because people tend not to have too many heavy tanks. Although this guy's rocking the 0 Vet Leopard 2s, as we spoke about in the deck review. And so what you do is you hide them behind buildings and you just try and get knife fight range. You want to stay out of the range of infantry AT, but the closer you are to the Leopard 2, the less of an advantage the Leopard 2 has, because at close range, everything kills everything. And these are actually hilariously well armored for their price. Like, look, this is literally, it's just under, it's just, oh, whatever. 240 points for 3 of these, 230 for 1 of these, right? FS Metis was on an attack move order, I think, so he's not in the house, which means he's dying, so he needs... Excuse me, needs to get in the house. He's just taking additional damage. You get cover if you're in the buildings, right? A lot of cover. It's like half damage or something, so it's a really big deal. And yeah, it's not great. So he's bringing up the BMP-1's really cost-effective way to sort things out. I mean, you'd want one here as well, really. He's brought up the helo now, and he's got a recon helo. Roland 2's repositioning. The anti-helo range is sufficient to outrange the Mi-20. He's got to get back. He's going to get hit. BMP-1s get taken out. Yeah, he's got to get back. He's not getting back. And so okay, so he does. He's got this on defensive, so it'll do a little wiggle backwards there automatically. So he's not actually noticed that got shot at. Looks like his attention's over here, where the FS Metis did get into a building, and yeah, the T-55A is coming up to lend fire support. Jaguar 2's got something to say about it though, and this will one-shot the T-55A because it's a TOW 2. This will survive a 24 AP missile, not 25 AP missile. So T-55A is dying there. I mean, yeah, their comparative advantage is at close ranges and near the start of the game. So both of those are sort of fading. I mean, I suppose it is still the first 8 minutes. Yeah, it's not really going very well for Zsadok, to tell you the truth. He's being pushed out here. He's been pushed out of this zone. He has one over here, but he's actually only got 2 units. It's just that his opponent hasn't really reinforced yet. So yeah, he needs to put some more guys in here. He has moved up to these positions, which is fantastic, and that will really help him in this middle zone. But the unspeakable one only has that range, whereas a Conkers would have more range. But look, he's just spamming unspeakables. On the front armor, that would have survived, but this would one-shot 3 armor, and that has 4 front armor. But it got side shot, where I believe it has 2 armor. Okay. So CV coming in for Elena, and that will give him the cap. But in the meantime, like, so basically, if you're red, you need to make sure, and the enemy gets in here, you need to make sure that you hold this if you're red, right? And then your T-55s and stuff can shoot here, because from here to here is not so far. But generally, you want to hold this if you're red, because it means that, 1, you know, reinforcements down here not getting in, and 2, you could get some recon up, and 3, you could actually shoot this guy. Whereas trying to attack from here into here is really hard, because you just show up in vision and then all this kills you. It's kind of difficult. So yeah, you get an anti-tank gun with the repairer here, with the good stealth, and then you make sure you take, like, you come over here and you make sure you take this back, and that's how you get this zone back. Good artillery usage from Ronin. It needs to be closer, really. And he could put a CV with it. He's got, like, this is 45 points. He could easily do that. Roland 2 finally hit something. Where's that helo? This must be the helo from before. It's not landed. And, okay, so anti-tank gun here. I mean, yeah. And so, yeah, you basically, you want to own this, and you want to put things here, so they can shoot across this field. Is it going for the AA? Okay, perfect. You always want to go for the AA first, because then it can't kill you, right? So, I hope that's obvious. Anyway, T-55A is getting critted there. This guy, not in... Oh, the Cub as well. This is not great. Mega Waffle coming in for the infantry, but... Remember that 6-minute reload, and it gets... So, wow, okay, so we got 2 of them, and it only dropped a couple of the bombs, which means the reload's going to be a lot lower there. The Cub was upvetted by the CV, did get first hit. And, yeah, Ronin collapsing this flank here. Zsadok, he did actually get the AT guns, so it's almost like he's listening in real time. Obviously, this is a recording, so... yeah, cool. Great minds think alike, as they say. So, Metis, whoa, that was might have been a side shot there. Either way, it was already on half HP, so it went down. And yeah, look at this Leopard 2 positioning. You can, like, pop out here and shoot down there. Very difficult to deal with this. Generally, 4th wants to be defend. I mean, you still keep attacking by, like, flanking and stuff, right? But generally, what you want to do with 4th is get an early tick and just kind of sit on it, and then play an active defense, not a passive defense, active defense, where you just, like, constantly harass people. For example, you know, you get a T-55 with a Bastion, or even just a 2275 up here, and then round here, and then you're shooting all these guys, right? You get an AA piece up there, but he's been outflanked down here, so yeah, it's tough, right? The tendency is to... That's not fantastic. The tendency is to just keep forcing down, because this is where your reinforcement road is. People always just stack up here and try and push here, but pushing from here to there is actually really hard because they can hide behind these buildings and stuff. It's really difficult to get sightline on them. So you come and take this, basically. You always sort this out, get a tank thing here. I think he had one, but it died in the transport. And then take this, and then from here, they're not reinforcing down this road anymore, and then you can shoot them. In the meantime, you should own this, and you put like a T-55 Bastion here or something, and you just make it so they can't get across here. Cut the reinforcement road, and then you can take the zone. But, you know, it's easy to do that if you have, you know, infinite kind of patience and time. In the moment, it's very difficult to not just constantly double down on your mistakes, which is what everybody does, including myself. So, credit to Ronin, you know, he's pushed this quite rightly, and from here he can now threaten this zone, and then red gets stretched out more and more and more and more. 6-minute reload on that now. Spoke about this in the deck review, it should be the other bomber. It's a good meme, it's just not good. So, yeah, this is probably going to kill that. Spoke about this in the deck review. Oh, it just gets out. Just gets out there. These were on attack move, which meant that as soon as it left the range, they started moving again. He's not evac, okay, he has. Whereas if he just turned off the attack move, the tracking would have kept going for 2 seconds, because that's a radar one. And 1 second, because that's not a radar one. And then they would have either, you know, missed or hit. But that way, did you see how it just went, woo? That's because it had started moving, so it's just 100% guaranteed miss, basically. So, Motshots and SVD clearing out the infantry, as you'd expect, really. Fourth does have the better infantry in this situation. And yeah, the Metis dealing with stuff. Basically, he needs to get a Conquers up into this build. Oh, that's weird. Into this weird. Okay, these things don't do anything to tanks. It actually did a lot more than I thought it would, actually. It must be the big rockets. The small ones don't do anything. This is just too far away. He's just missing a lot. He needs to bring it really up close. Like, I mean, you're safe up to here, so should be all good. Ah, yeah, you really don't want to come back for more. That Max Vet Fliegerfaust there hit him twice. And yeah, this is too far away. Like, there's no point in having it back there. All it does is increase your dispersion circle. Why not bring it further forwards? And this CV is presumably for here. Which is fair enough, really. But yeah, so like this shouldn't be all the way back there, because look, he didn't take any damage because they all just went around him. So yeah, between salvos, because it reloads while moving, you should be moving it closer to the enemy. Obviously, you know, you don't want it too close. So this 18 pen will one-shot 4 armor. That's 4 armor. So yeah, these aren't so bad. But look at this. Ronin's getting in here. Not great for Zsadok. Not great for Zsadok at all. Not sure what he does here, to be honest. Like, he needs to hold on to this one. He is on a +1 because he owns mid, and he is actually winning over here. But yeah, these need to be running into buildings as fast as possible. Bomber comes out going for the CV, tries to evac the right way and fails because the map's kind of aids. But oh, he's probably going to die here. Whoa! Gets the dodge, the epic dodge. And yeah, imagine if this was a Conquers, this would be able to shoot that most likely. Also, you can move them up, right? Like this being here is kind of pointless. It could get up to here, maybe. Can hit more rocket things. He knows there's a Roland 3 there because it just shot him. So I don't think. I mean, he got the CV, okay. And yeah, the follow-up one should have been on the Roland 3. Like he might have killed that. Whoa, he actually gets out. So pretty impressive. And he got the CV and he got an infantry squad and he didn't actually lose anything, so yeah, not bad. Over here, he's taken it. He needs to get up to here, and then the enemy's basically never getting back in. These are a problem. Like, he needs like a tank with a Bastion or something, or just a Conquers team, like a Conquers team in here. A recon would be useful. He doesn't actually have any recon. But, he also needs to be here. He also needs to be here. He also needs to be here. So, We have to be realistic, right? Sometimes you have to attack on a budget. Zikrungs don't have AT, so they can get bullied. Although this, I don't think, has been revealed yet. It's kind of in a weird place. If it was here, it would have engaged ages ago. And yeah, so it's just too far away. I mean, it's getting good hits there, but it would be killing more if it wasn't so far away. Looks like Ronin's about to stop the tick. AM2, what's it engaging? Probably the Fox, right? Yeah. And this is at no vet, so 8 rounds a minute. This is at 10. I can hear the sound of that bomber. Here we go, he's back for more. It never got healed up. And yeah, I mean, you've noticed that, so Ronin hasn't bought a single fighter all game. The fighters are close range. Does make it kind of hard to, you know, sort them out. You basically got to just idle back here. Then they buy a MiG-29, shoot you. But yeah, 5th Panzer usually gets air bullied. And 4th East German is a deck that can air bully very effectively. Zsadok's still on the +1 because this didn't cap. And the counter to that is to not attack in 4 places at once. But because of the way Zsadok's played it by being everywhere, the 5th Panzer player has been stretched out, and that's how you want to beat 5th Panzer. You want to stretch him out as much as possible, and then air bully. So pretty perfect textbook play, really, from Zsadok. This is the textbook way to deal with 5th Panzer. So yeah, if this was closer, you know, this would be dead. But it's very far away, and so it's missing a lot. You'll notice that he's not actually moved it or anything. Okay, he's doing so now. And you'll notice that a lot of those rounds missed. So yeah, if he was closer, he would have killed him. There's no reason for him to be back here. Look, he's moving even further away. He's buying another one. What can I say? In the meantime, anti-tank gun, laying down the pain. But yeah, the problem with them is that they get artilleried really easily because they're very slow. And they've only got 3 HP. Unlike the mighty ZPU anti-air gun, which has 4. In the meantime, I don't know what you do if you're red in this situation, right? You need to get a guy up to here, recon. You need to get a guy up to here, recon. And yeah, having the tanks here is useful, so you can shoot. Basically, you want to try and stop him from reinforcing, but that's very difficult when you're in this position. How do you do that when he can just constantly send guys down this road? I think, like, now that he's... That's interesting. You could try use... Yeah, I was going to say, you should probably try and use the guns on that. It probably won't kill it. It's only got 112 rounds. Okay, looks like he's... I mean, these small rockets, you will now see how much they do to this Leopard 1. See? It did, like, 1 HP damage. Oh, no! He's taken the fun way home. Wow, okay. Finally bought a fighter. So yeah, he just needs to loiter this around for ages now. So yeah, given that this is lost, I think Red's made the right play, which is capitalize on this, and then hold this, use this to sort this out, right? Because trying to push back into here now is going to be very, very difficult. Because Blue's reinforcement road is wide open, right? Whereas if you do basically what he's doing, right, you sort this out, make sure he can never get back in here. Blue's taking quite bad trades trying to get back in. Look, he's even got the tank up now, so he needs a recon, really. You can't see this, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, get a recon up to there, get the tank up to there, whatever. Do some shooty. And, yeah, and then from here, right, try, like, move up the SPG-9 to here. Well, I don't know, really. Move up the unspeakable one to here and get a Conquerors for this building, something like that. You know, you can always move these up and try and sort this out. Then if you can take this, I don't know, then you can threaten this. It's not easy. There's no easy answer here. So double Mega Waffle coming in here, and so that he gets a deletion of my FPS. That's how that works. Gets 2 kills. The only problem is 6-minute reload. What you can't do is only drop a couple of these, like, and cancel it, and then it won't be a 6-minute reload, which we saw him do unintentionally near the start because he got hit by a cub. And yeah, so he's got the RT, so these RT should really be going on these ATGM positions, and these should be moving, and they are moving, so that's good. Unspeakable one at max vet, 65% accuracy, takes out the Fox Fuhrer. And yeah, I mean, they're fighting everywhere. It's a very dynamic game. This, you know, you need to shoot and then move up. I think he's actually done that, yeah, it's given an attack move order or something. No, that's the tank. But yeah, I don't understand why he's deliberately put this far away. He could have just put it here, and it would have got much nicer dispersion. You'll notice like how little his artillery is doing, because all it's doing is missing. So that's a big learning, really. If you're red as well, you want to buy in a Katsia at some point, because artillery is decent on this map, because they're in a building surrounded by an open field, so you can take them out. T-55's doing not a huge amount to the Leopard 2. Sadly, they're all shooting different targets as well. Oh, but this is how he's dealing. Look at that. So it gets 3 units there, a supply, a Leopard, a supply, a Flieger. I mean, look at that. The air just completely swung that fight. Because the Leopard 2 was stopping all this, and now it ain't. And yeah, now there's just like no supply or anything. T-55's taking the day, so yeah, I was going to say you need more Motschützen now. Supply and so on. So yeah, the air bully really kicking in here against Ronin, and he needs to, like, he had a fighter. It should be over here somewhere. So I guess that's how you crack open the position, spread the enemy out, focus the AA. Right, he killed the Leopard here. There was a Fliegerfaust there he bombed as well. He's been constantly hitting the AA. That's not great. Okay, it missed. And now Red needs more guys in here. So he is. Yeah, I love this div. I love playing wide. I love the little bit of forward deployment. Well, okay, you can get a lot of forward deployment. I think it's a very strong div, especially since the T-55 buffs. I love the air spam. I learned that from Fortitude, from playing with Fence. So he doesn't have the seed, so he can't do anything about this. I'll admit, I mean, you know, 65% accuracy, 10% ECM. You would expect some hits. Oh, he was on an attack mover there. Right, do you see how that... Because I was going to say, why did that missile go whee? It's because as soon as it left the range, it started trying to move, because it was on an attack move order. Whereas if it wasn't, it wouldn't have done that, and this guy would probably be dead. Artillery still all the way back here. And yeah, okay, so he did move this up. Sadly, it went down. It's a good idea, though. Now he's going to need some smoke, I would think. Oof. You know, a Strela or something for these. In the meantime, Ronin's still trying to break back in here. But really, this is Forth's game to win now, because he spread the 5th Panzer does not want to play wide, because it gets air bullied, because the Roland 3s don't have that good range. They only fire 2 rounds. They're not that great, really. So you want to play as narrow as possible, so you can literally have like 2 Roland 3s and a bunch of Leopards and so on. So that's interesting. He has now revealed his Roland 3, so now this should there should be something coming for this. But yeah, that was not ideal, really. I mean, he lost a plane for 60. There we go. That's what it's all about, right? Yes, you see he's going on the AA, although that was that guy should have been over here hitting that Leopard, basically. That was a bit of a bridge too far. But you see, that's how it's done. So yeah, the only thing I would say is that the fighter should have been a bit closer to the bomber. So that, you know, it lights it up and then you immediately hit it. But they don't all fly at the same speeds. They've got different travel times, right? 10 seconds versus 2 seconds. Don't have the same speed. So it is very difficult to synchronize it, and it worked, ultimately. And, you know, another thing you can do is... So this is the Just gun, which is really good. Or at least it's supposed to be. Okay. Just trying to duel the Leopard, I guess. Right, ran it away. F4F was going... Okay, nobody's hitting anybody today, apparently. Okay. Everybody's hitting everybody today, apparently. That was weird. But did you see how, like, so that... It hit it twice, but it didn't kill it. I think it was because it was a 5 damage missile and a 4 damage missile, so it did 9 damage. I think that's what happened there. Similarly, it looked like it got hit a few times as well. So, yeah, you don't want to be 2 in 1 building when there's so much artillery. But yeah, this artillery should definitely have been closer. But yeah, Red's still on the ascendant. T-55's brought up now. Still no recon here, really. Looks like Blue's going to push him out because the focus has been here. But he has taken this back. And he will soon be on a +2 again. Yeah, definitely don't want two guys in these buildings. And I've noticed so yeah, like an infantry conkers in a high rise is quite useful. They do get artied a lot though, which is probably why we're not seeing more of it. But yeah, imagine if this was closer. Wouldn't that be crazy? I don't know if I mentioned that today. It does get him though. And there we go. So CV spotted. This Leopard 1's been causing Red a lot of problems. I mean, he could consider buying an artillery piece. Just one Acacia. Looks like he's going for the CV. He knows roughly where it is, because he knows, you know, where it isn't. So it looks like he's going to miss because it's moving now. Yeah, so he misses. And now he sees it, so that's a shame, isn't it? But it is what it is. He's got no metis left, this man. Probably not going to make it. He's getting absolutely hammered by the Zikrungs and so on. Red has got this zone. And the guy was about to kill that Leopard 1, but he got stunned. He's 2 vet. And yeah, so that was a bit sloppy, really. Should have been hiding somewhere. He was just on an attack move order. Fighter sent out first to draw the ire of the AA. Behind that we got the 2 Mega Waffles, which are also going for the Hilo. What? Okay. So they've now been repathed. What I will say is that, like, where's the Cubs? If you take this middle point, that you know, you can put a Cub, like, around about here or something, and it'd cover most of the map for you. When you're playing so wide, it is nicer to have fighters, I would think. But yeah, just a couple Cubs. Like, anyway, you see the power of the Mega Waffle against vehicles. It does literally nothing. AT does go down to Fliegerfaust, and I think... No, I think it was the Mega Waffles shot it on their way out. So, if you're Red in this situation, you want to get 3 more infantry in here. He really needs a recon unit. Don't know if I mentioned that. Because like, this has been a pain in the arse the whole game. Alright, here we go. Cubs purchased. You always want to buy a supply when you get the Cubs, because they run out. Like, 1 plane comes by, they fire 2 rounds. They only keep 3. So next time a plane comes, they're suboptimal already. So you always want to get a 25-point supply with them, which I think he's just done. Yeah, yes. So, still +1 to Red. And honestly, at this point, it's Red's game to lose, really. Oh, there you go. So Blue surrenders. He figures I just can't do it. Getting air bullied too much. Yeah, GG. I thought that was a really good game, actually. I loved seeing a bit of 4th. I like playing 4th. So we got Zsadok here, ranked 322, with 153 games this patch. So yeah, very much punching above his weight, because Ronin Iceman has 581 games this patch, which is a lot, and 2,415 total, which is 2,000 more than this guy. So yeah, that's the power of watching Hippie YouTube videos. You watch Hippie YouTube videos, bam, straight up there. But no, I think Red's strategy was really good. His strategy was play as wide as possible, stretch the 5th Panzer player out. And then, because a lot of people, they say, well, why can I do that against 5th Panzer so effectively? So 5th Panzer, like, it's got a decent amount of spam in terms of Marder 1A2s and so on. It's just the anti-air situation of 5th Panzer is all close range stuff. And then you've got all these high-value targets, the Leopard 2s and so on. And so if you can stretch out the 5th Panzer player, he can no longer cover his ground forces with his anti-air. And his fighters are also short-range, which means that then you can pick him apart. Whereas if you tried that against a 2nd Panzergren player, it wouldn't work. I mean, you can still try it, but it's less effective, because not only can they cover most of the map with Eyehawks, they also have the Tornado Fighter, which is very wide. You know, it's got long range, so it can cover the whole map, right? Lots of missiles. But yeah, the Eyehawks as well cover a huge amount of range. So just something to think about. And I'll see you in the next one. GG.